Hey everybody, welcome to Dino Brickhaven. I am Dino. What is going on? It's been a while. It's been a little while. But I am here today to start building the Nightmare Before Christmas Lego set. This is Lego Ideas number 059, Lego set 21351 with 2,193 pieces. This is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Man, this looks awesome. This really does. You get a lot. You get all the figures. Let's go over it. Let's see. Put the stream out there to people. Hello, Harry Scott. What's going on? Good to see you, Linda Bear. I know, spur of the moment stream. Didn't have it planned, but I figured, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and open this and start building it. And we're going to listen to some spooky stories as we do this. So there you go. There you go. Good to have you here. I'm sure people will come streaming in soon. But the set looks great, fantastic. What else have I been doing? Hey, Sweet Indigo, what's going on? Good to see you. I'm going to open this up and then start showing everything on the inside. Let me get my trusty box opener out of the way here. But this thing is cool. Could they have made it better? I guess let's wait until I finish making it. I don't like that Oogie Boogie isn't in here. But or the evil scientist. I mean, I really don't know how you can not have the evil scientist in a set like this. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Lately, I've been looking at a lot of sets and I've been just really wondering what's going on. Listen, I know they've got to get people to come back, and there'll probably be another Nightmare Before Christmas set where the evil scientist and Oogie Boogie will be included. But man, I wish they would have put him in here. What else did I do? Here, let me lay this down real quick because I want to show you. Hello, Lizzie. You know what? Let me pull up the chat real quick. And we will be talking or listening to some spooky stories. Good to see you, Lizzie. What else did I build? I have been building. I haven't stopped. I just haven't streamed them. Just because it's been a while. But I finished building, and I'm sorry I didn't do this on camera, but the Harry Potter burrow. If you can see it right there, let me stand this up again. Really quick, what have I been doing? I've been building this Harry Potter Weasley's house, the burrow set. I just built this. This was a pretty fun build, a pretty fun set. I like it. I have the other one from 2000 when was that? A couple years ago. I don't know, 3-4 years ago, 2022. I don't even know, but it's like half the size. This opens up to show a lot of cool features, which I should do a review on this and show you guys the interior and everything else. But yes, I built that. I started working on the city, and I also started working on another part of the room for just display pieces. So that is something I'm going to start working on as well. I'm using a second bedroom to put display cases up for sets like this, which don't go in a city. I mean, this can't go in the city. It could. You could pretend it's part of an amusement park if you really wanted to. But yeah. Gonna show you guys a new room soon. But anyways, and I think I'm gonna bring the book out to show all of the characters and what you get. But let's break this open. I think I can hold it up to the camera a little bit better once I get the booklet. So let me use my trusty dagger. Open this up. I have had a little scratchy throat for a week now too, so cold's going around and everything else. But yeah, let me open this up. Let me bring everything out. And I know what we do. There's 3 booklets, or 3 sections, I know that much. and there are stickers. There are stickers. I tell you that. What is this? Let me see. What is this? There's something here. I don't know what that is. This can't be the stickers. Let me see. Let me get this out of here. And don't worry, we'll get to the shows. I don't want to bore you. What is that? That is... What is that piece right there? Oh, little Halloween. Oh, yeah, I like that. It's cloth. So there is one cloth piece right here that is going to go on this set. Very, very nice. I will slip that back in there. Hey, Tony, what's going on? Been missing you. Thank you, Tony. I really appreciate that. Just been under the weather. Just not in a mood, you know? I mean... It is what it is. But yeah, let me bring all of these bags out of here, so you're going to hear a lot of rumbling. Rumbling? Not rumbling. Rumbling is like thunderstorms, right? So let me pull all these out. Then I'll go through them. We will get started building. But I do want to go over everything that's in here. Bag 15. Wow, we got... Sometimes I think I should unpack these before, there's bag 1, before I even start streaming. But I like to open it up with you guys, you know? But bags are all over the place. Here, let me dump it. Dump. There we go. I definitely have to keep the box up here, so the box will go right there for right now. Oh God, I got bags all over. Don't worry, most of them are going to go down here. But let me get this book open. Let me get my dagger. So how y'all been doing? Good? I've been not so good. Anyways, okay, this one's open. That's open. Yeah, it looks like 3 booklets. Hey Raj, what's going on? Long time no see, Dino, my friend. Yeah, see, all the bags are in front of me. I just showed the Harry Potter... the burrows that I built. So let's see who else is here. That's it. Okay, so I take these out, and yes, here are the stickers. At least it's not a lot of stickers. Not a lot of stickers. That's good, because I hate stickers. $1 billion company can't even print pieces up. Anyways. I'm just whatever. Okay, I'll put this over here. I'll throw this away. And we get 3 little booklets, which is a little different. Ooh, in the back, I got to make sure I don't ruin that. That's going to be the backdrop to Jack and Sally up on the hill. So there you go. I'll put that over here too. But we get 3 little booklets. We get the first build, which right there is the first build. Second build, which that'll be the funnest. Well, you know what? I like the hill too. That's going to be the cute little graveyard scene in Hill where Jack and Sally is going to stand. But I don't use the booklets anyways, because I go ahead and use the PDF file online. So this we don't need. I was hoping that they would have pictures of all the characters. They are on the box, but it's hard to hold up the box to show you all of the figures, but I'm going to try. Here we go. Let's start here. Oh, come on. Okay, of course we got Lock, Shock, and Barrel. And Santa's in the good old walking bathtub there. So you get Lock, Shock, and Barrel. That's cool. You get Sally and Jack. You get Ghost, which I've got tons of toys everywhere of Night River for Christmas. And there's the Mayor, which has 2... but that's it. We're missing the Evil Scientist, Oogie Boogie. It'd be nice to have some of the vampires. But let's hope that they bring out another set. I'm trying to think of what other set they could make. I Where is my? I'm trying to look for some of these characters I got. Yeah, they're back there. It's okay, but they've got to be making more sets. That's for sure. So listen, I'm going to start playing Spooky Story as I go through these bags. Open up bag one and start building. Okay. Saslovsky, what is going on? Linda, good to see you. JLR, good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, all that good stuff. We are going to play. What am I going to do tonight? Let me bring it up. I'm going to do some Haunting Hour, the Haunting Hour. I feel like some spooky stuff as I build this. So I'm going to go, and I will hold everything close up like I usually do, just to let you guys see what I've been doing. But the city, expanded the tables a little bit more. Lots of little details, believe it or not. I've realized that the city's so big now that adding little details to it, like the water and the streets and stuff like that, it's hard to even recognize it as being like new things added because it's so big. But I did the one roller coaster. I know I still have to get to. This is stuff. This is a hobby. It's going to take a long time to get to certain things. Like I stopped doing any of the amusement park rides because I wanted to get the Harry Potter out of the way, and now the Nightmare Before Christmas. And I'm setting up the other rooms so that I can put all these display pieces up, like the Rivendell and Lord of the Rings and all that other good stuff. Even Star Wars has some good stuff coming out. Undead Caesar, what's going on, Undead Caesar? Good to see you. With that said, let me play get us in the spooky Halloween kind of mood. And when do you watch this movie? If you do like Nightmare Before Christmas, when do you watch it? I kind of save it towards Christmas time. I have so many Halloween movies and horror movies that I watch during the Halloween season that I don't really chunk this one in there. It can be watched at Halloween, of course. Can be watched right after Halloween. The holidays are coming. But Christmas time is when I watch it, that's for sure. Anyways, let's start out by playing The Haunting Hour, Date in the Dark. And we will listen to this as you watch me go through the bags and start building this thing. It looks like 15 bags. So, I mean, I should be able to get through this pretty quickly. Especially, there's 3 different booklets and instructions, so 3 bags, we'll see. Here we go, Date in the Dark. Enjoy as I build.
No, stay where you are. Do not break the stillness.
Oh, Raj says, thank you for Bishop and the Gargoyle on the overnight stream yesterday, Dino as well as the judge. Yes, you never know what you're going to get every night. I mix it up. You know, there's so many Johnny Dollars on the Late Late Horror Show, my other channel, that you can mix up so many different shows of the same, like Johnny Dollar, Richard Diamond, Broadway's My Beat. I love throwing those in, but I always throw in like stuff like that, like Bishop and the Gargoyle. There's sometimes one episode only of some of these, like Policewoman. I think you only get one episode of those, but they're in these streams. Even though I don't got timestamps, you can rest assured that every single night you're going to get a different rotation. Like tonight, it's not all detective. It's a mixed bag. So I'm just going to surprise you. There's a lot of different stuff in there tonight. I can't do detectives every night, but there's no comedy. There's mystery, some crime, some espionage, some adventure. There's all of that in the mix tonight on the Late Late Horror Show. So check that out. Hey, Sean, what is going on? One Sean Bond. Here we go. Date in the dark. Enjoy as I build.
Of this moment, for this is a time of mystery, a time when imagination is free and moves forward swiftly, silently. This is the haunting hour. Date in the dark. Midnight. Midnight in the metropolis. Town of 1,000 moods and contrasts. Of wealth and lightness and laughter. Of poverty, heartbreak, and tears. Of shadowy people and dark, dark things. Big city. Hard-boiled and tender. Weak and mean and cheap, without dignity. And great and proud and powerful. And the metropolis at midnight, filled with the high spirits of joy seekers, revelers who give way to the goodness of living, or try to forget the badness of living. Midnight that is brooding, sinister. The sounds of the big city at midnight, the squeaks and roars of taxicabs, the rumble of trucks, the moan of river boats, and underground, the subway, and under and above, the sounds of the people, shrill, ribald, futile. But there is quiet, too, in the teeming city at midnight. The quiet that is broken by the wail of a child, the rattle of a snore, or, as in the home of Earl Breton, a private detective, and his partner, Owen Bailey, called the Professor, the telephone rings, and the Professor answers it.
Hello?
Earl Breton?
No, this is Mr. Bailey, Breton's partner. Who's calling?
This is Bill Henderson. Is Earl there?
Just a moment. It's Bill Henderson, Earl. You want to talk to him?
Bill Henderson? What does that crooked politician want?
Sounds very anxious.
Oh, that's too bad. Tell him I'm very busy. I gotta go to sleep.
Hello, Mr. Henderson.
Yeah?
I'm sorry, but Mr. Breton is not in...
Bailey. If Earl doesn't talk to me, he may be responsible for my death.
I can't possibly see how
All right,
that...
let me have the phone, Professor. Hello, Henderson.
Is you, Earl?
Yeah, what's on your mind?
I gotta see you right away, Earl. Can you meet me down at your office?
Office hours are from 10 to 2, Henderson. You know that. I'll see you tomorrow.
No, wait, Earl, wait. I tell you gotta see me tonight.
Now, look, I can't...
Wait until tomorrow, because I may never get there tomorrow.
How do you figure?
I can't explain it on the phone, but I know what I'm talking about. I gotta see you tonight. Got it.
Where are you now?
I'm at my house.
Okay, give me a few minutes to get a cup of something warm. I'll meet you down at the office.
Thanks a million, Earl.
Never mind the thanks. Bring some money with you.
Don't worry about that, Earl. This is worth anything to me.
Goodbye.
What seems to be his trouble, Earl?
Well, he's probably swindled one guy too many.
Good.
What do you mean, good?
I mean, he picked a good time for it. We can very well use the money, you know.
Well, you can start drawing the bill now, Professor. And remember, after office hours, it's triple the usual.
Here comes the elevator now, Earl.
If we ever make enough dough, Professor, remind me to
sweet.
move out of this broken-down building.
All buildings are pretty much alike at this hour of night.
How do they expect one old guy to take care of this whole thing by himself?
He manages if you don't rush him.
Yeah.
What devil has got his finger on it? It's you, Mr. Britton. Faith, you'll never be known as a patient man.
I hate waiting for elevators, old-timer.
Good evening, Mr. Bailey.
Good evening. You've got lots to do around here, haven't you?
Sure. I've got to make the rounds, you know.
How's business?
Very slow, Mr. Britton. You're the only two people I've seen all night.
Hey, it's pitch black out here, isn't it?
You want me to put the hall lights on?
Don't bother, old-timer. We'll make it.
It might help if you throw your flashlight beam down the hall.
Oh, sure thing. How's this?
That's fine. Here. I've got the key, Earl.
Right. Thanks, old-timer. We're okay now.
I'll be seeing you on the way down.
Now, if I can just find the switch. Here.
What's the matter with the light?
Looks like the switch don't work.
It's working all right when I left this evening. Where'd I find the desk lamp?
Find it, Earl?
Yeah. You didn't take the bulb out of this lamp, did you, Professor?
Of course not.
I've got an idea, Professor, that we have company.
You're a very smart chap, Breton.
Who's that?
Just stay where you are, both of you, and don't ask any questions. Mr. Breton knows that those lights are not out by accident, but if either of you makes a false move, there could be one.
What are you looking for?
Information.
And why keep us in the dark?
There's enough light for me from that street lamp shining in your window. I can see you both.
What do you want to know?
I understand, Breton, that you got some new dope on the Kennedy murder. Am I right?
Kennedy murder? Why, the police gave Kennedy up as a suicide 5 years ago. What would I be...
Stay where you are, Breton. I told you I can see.
Yeah, sure. Seems kind of... Yeah, I guess our visit is a little touchy, Professor.
You didn't believe that I could see you. Next time, I won't miss. Now, give it to me straight.
I told you I don't like the smell of a body that's been buried 5 years, and I ain't digging it up. Now, what else do you want?
Mr. Breton, are you in there?
Don't make a move.
Mr. Breton. Mr. Barry, whatever happened is...
Okay, I hope you get a big kick out of beating up a helpless old guy. That was very tough. Very.
Doc, Professor, I got it. What happened, Earl? Where are you?
Right over here where that voice was coming from, and he's not here.
Maybe he moved over to another corner of the room.
Duck my light something, Professor. I'm going to light a match.
Careful now, Earl.
Well, I'll be. There's nobody here.
Who's that lying in the doorway?
Wait a minute. Looks like the old timer. Here's his flashlight. I'll turn it on.
Here, put him in this chair, Earl.
No, it's too late, Professor. He's dead.
Dead?
That dirty rat killing a sweet, harmless old man.
Wait, what's this here on the floor?
Let me see
Hotel key.
Hotel Markham, room 517.
Think that fell out of the old man's pocket?
No, that's a mobster's hotel. It's full of gamblers and racketmen.
Then that means if we go to room 517, we ought to be able to find out the man who did this.
You don't find anybody in that hotel. You smoke them out. Besides, that key might have been stolen just so somebody could plant it here. Don't you see that?
Then how are we going to know?
Building
The
a
voice,
walking back.
Professor. I'll never forget that voice. I'm promising the old man now that I'll find it.
Well, what do we do, Oil?
You go find Henderson and tell him we won't be able to see him tonight. I'm going to the Hotel Markham. Meet me there as soon as you're through. In front of the hotel.
And what about the old man?
On our way out, we'll ring the night alarm. That'll bring the police.
But aren't we going to tell him what happened?
Right now, Professor, we don't know any more than they do. Come on, let's go.
Anything I can do? Oh, hello, Breton.
How's the hotel business?
Oh, we don't complain.
Uh-huh. Who's up in room 517?
I want to know.
I understand there's a game going on.
So?
So, I'd like to get in.
Well, there's a gentleman by the name of Sparrow rented the room. Maybe you know him.
That's all I wanted to hear. You can tell my good friend, Mr. Sparrow, I'm coming right up.
Don't worry. I will.
Oh. By the way, I hear there's a shortage of keys. You still lose many of them?
Certainly we do. Every day.
That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Well, look who's here, fellas. My old pal, Earl Breton.
How are you, Sparrow?
Fine. Come on in.
How's the game?
Pretty good. You want to take a hand?
Yeah, maybe. How long you been playing?
Oh, about 12 hours. Now, meet the boys. All right, fellas. This is Dan Huber. He's new in this town.
Yeah? Didn't take you long to find this place, did it, Dan?
Mary, I got a nose for this stuff.
Yes. And you know Harry Jackson, Earl, don't you?
Sure, I know Harry. How are you, Harry?
Fine.
What did you say, Harry?
I said I'm fine. That's what I said.
Sure.
Now, this is Willie Garvin, and over
Well,
here...
that's a funny name, Willie.
What's funny about it?
How do you spell it?
Garvin. Why? Does it sound familiar?
No, Willie, no.
And I don't have to introduce you to my partner, Joe Murray, huh?
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Funny to find you and Sparrow in the same game, Joe.
What's funny about that?
Well, after all, you and Sparrow are partners, aren't you?
Nobody said for you, Breton, and if you don't like what goes on here, you can shove off.
Come
Get it?
on, Earl. When are you going to stop burning up Joe? Anyhow, he just come in a few minutes ago. So we really just started playing together.
Oh, just came in a few minutes ago. Where were you, Joe?
Since when do I report to you?
Well, I'm just curious, that's all.
I told you before, Breton, I don't like coppers, and that still goes. Now, let's get the game going.
Well, Earl, you taking a hand?
Sure, but first I gotta get the professor. He's got my dough. I'll be back in a few
Wait
minutes.
a minute, Breton. What are you trying to pull? Why didn't you bring your dough in the first place?
I just wanted to see who was in the game.
Oh, sure. Joey's got a right to know. Go ahead, Earl. Get your dough. Oh, but don't forget to come back, huh? Otherwise, it wouldn't look so good, huh?
Sure, don't worry. I'll be back.
Earl, I'm over here.
How long you been waiting, Professor?
I just got here. Did you find out anything?
No, not a thing. I listened to every voice up there. Not one of them was the right one. How about you? Did you see Henderson?
Yeah, that is, I didn't see him, but I found out about him.
What do you mean, found out about him?
Well, when I got there, Earl, there were a lot of people outside the house, and the police were there.
Police, what happened?
Henderson was murdered.
It was midnight when the phone rang in the home of Earl Breton, a private detective. A man named Henderson was calling. Henderson, a crooked politician who insisted he was in danger of being killed, and that he had to see Breton immediately. Earl agreed to meet him in his office, but when he and his partner, the professor, arrived a few minutes later, they were faced with a peculiar situation.
Lego
The
maniac.
lights in the office wouldn't work,
Hey, oh.
and before they could investigate, a voice challenged them from the darkness. Their unknown visitor fired at them, purposely missing, in order to warn them that he meant business. The sound of the gun attracted the attention of the night watchman. He came to investigate and was killed by the intruder, who disappeared, leaving Earl with the old man's body and a clue. The key to room 517 at the Hotel Markham.
Hey, look who's here just in time. Sally Skellington. Hey, Sally, what's going on? Good to see you. And overkill with an O. Good to have you here, Sally.
They rang the police alarm, and Earl sent the professor to intercept Henderson, to break the appointment they had with him. Then he went to the hotel, to room 517, where he expected to find the killer. He interrupted a card game, but Sparrow, the gangster who was registered in 517, invited Earl to sit in, much to the displeasure of his partner, Joe Murray. Breton accepted, promising to return soon. He went down to the street where the professor was waiting. The professor had news for him. Henderson had been murdered.
How did you find out he was murdered, Professor?
I overheard two policemen talking to one another.
Did the cops know you were there?
Oh, no. We wouldn't want them to know we was interested, would we?
Good for you, Professor.
But now that I think of it, Earl, shouldn't we tell the police what we know?
Well, that's a good idea, except that we don't know anything they can't find out for themselves.
But
What an
they don't know
interesting
that Henderson
technique.
called us to meet him at the office. And then when we got there, we met somebody else. And it was that somebody.
Usually these minifigures go together real simple. You know, they're pre-made and all that. But the mayor, I'm building him from all these little pieces, which is kind of interesting. Like, I mean, the face and body and everything, it's going to look great, but you make it with a bunch of pieces. Interesting. I never did that before.
The else who killed the night watchman?
I know there's some connection between those two things, Professor. In fact, if I didn't know Henderson's voice so well...
You'd say that it was the man at the office who imitated it?
Sure, that's an old trick. A man disguises his voice to sound like... Hey, just a minute, Professor. Why couldn't it be...
You mean you actually think that the man we met in the office was the one who called us earlier, and he imitated Henderson's voice?
No. That'd be too obvious. The killer's much cleverer than that.
But you do think he had something to do with both of the murders?
Certainly. If he didn't, how would he know that we were coming down to the office at midnight? He was expecting us. So he must have been with Henderson at the time Henderson called us.
If you don't mind my saying so, Earl, it doesn't make sense. Why should this man have bothered to come down to our office just to ask us about some murder case that was over and forgotten 5 years ago?
That's just it, Professor. He didn't want that information at all. That was just to throw us off the track. That was why he left the key there when he slugged the old man and disappeared.
You mean he actually wanted us to follow him here to the Hotel Markham?
Don't you see? He was trying to establish
No,
the alibi
this is
that he was
Lego,
playing cards
Raj.
in this
This is
hotel at the time of the
100%
murder.
Lego.
And he could force us to testify as police witnesses that we saw him here.
Then why don't we tell that to the police?
Oh, Professor, you're slipping. You know the police don't want ideas. They've got their own. Besides, if we don't know whose voice we heard, what can we tell them?
Well, at least we can tell them that it was somebody who's up in that hotel room now.
Sure. But can we prove it?
I guess not. Well, then what can we do?
We gotta go upstairs and find out who that phony voice belongs to.
But life can be very short in a place like this. I mean, I'm not thinking about me.
I know, Professor, I know. But I made a promise to that old watchman that I'd find the guy who killed him, and I like to keep a promise.
But, we ain't got enough money to play cards with those people.
They don't know that.
Well, I don't think it should take them more than one hand to find out.
All right, then you'll have to stall. Now, one of those guys up there has a phony British voice.
So?
Listen.
Stay where you are, Breton. I told you I can see.
How's that?
If I wasn't looking at you, I'd swear it was the guy in the room.
Good. That's all I wanted to know.
I knew you'd keep your promise to come back, Earl.
Oh, why not? This is my night, Sparrow.
Well, come on, take a chair.
I think I'll let the professor play for me. I do much better when I'm looking over his shoulder.
Suit yourself.
Let's get going. You're holding up the game.
How many chips, Professor?
Well, that's up to Earl.
Chips? Why, what do you say we start off with $10 worth, Professor? I got a hunch.
I guess that's all right.
Wait a minute. Who you kidding, Breton? Since when do you figure you can get in on this game for $10?
That's just a starter, Joe. I always like to play hunches.
But you've got more than that, haven't you, Earl?
You know better than to ask me that, Sparrow.
Yeah? Let's see. Okay, deal 'em out.
Joe, if I didn't know that you just came into this game a little while ago, I'd figure that you were losing plenty.
Why?
Oh, you're so touchy.
I open. $5.
Raise your 10.
I'm out.
Well, playing it safe, Professor.
I'd rather not explain my game.
Maybe if Joe played it safer, he wouldn't be so worried all the time.
Oh, Joe. Joe's got lots on his mind.
I don't know, Sparrow. You're Joe's partner. You never seem to worry like he does.
What do you mean, worry? Who says I'm worried? I'm just careful, that's all. I don't trust nobody, see?
Nobody? You mean not even Sparrow, your own partner?
I said nobody.
Oh, Joe thinks maybe I talk too much.
That's right.
I didn't hear you say anything out of place, Sparrow.
He thinks I made a mistake telling you he just came into the game a little while ago.
I told you to shut up, Sparrow.
Oh, come on, Joe. You don't have to be afraid of Earl Breton.
He's a cop, and I told you don't have to know nothing.
He wouldn't repeat anything he heard up here, would you, Earl?
I always play it safe.
I think you're all right, Earl.
Mind if I stand up?
Where you going?
I just want to walk around a little bit, stretch my legs.
Just don't go looking at any hands.
Okay. I'll stand over here by the wall.
You're going to let the professor play by himself?
Sure. Hey, this is a very interesting electric light switch.
You guys don't cut the chatter, I'll blow this game off.
Hey, wait a minute.
Who put those lights out? Put the lights on.
What are you getting so crazy about, Joe? You act as if you just murdered someone.
Put up the lights, I said quick.
I'm sorry, Joe. That was my mistake. I didn't know the light switched off this way.
Shut up. And you, Sparrow. What was the idea of saying I murdered someone?
What are you talking about, Joe? I didn't say anything.
Don't give me that stuff. I heard you. You can't fool me with that phony voice you put on.
I told you I didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah? Well, I happen to know that nobody else but you talks that way.
Cut it, you dope. Did you know that wasn't my voice?
Sparrow, if you're trying to pull anything...
Okay, Joe. Sparrow's right. Now, don't get sore. It was my fault. I didn't know.
That ain't the point, Breton. I want to know what he's trying to pull. And it ain't none of your business, copper.
I just wanted to tell you I'm sorry. It was my voice you heard, Joe.
What? Are you? All right, what's the game, Breton?
No game, Joe. Just a joke, that's all.
Sure, Joe. Just a joke. Very funny, too. Can't you take a joke, Joe?
Nuts. All right, Breton. You want to stay in this game?
Yeah,
Get some
say,
real dough
say.
or beat it.
Okay, I'll come clean with you. That's all the dough we got with us right now. If you let me go in the next room and make a call, I'll get some sent up here right away.
Why, sure. You want to use the phone, huh? Yes, it's right in the next room.
Thanks, Sparrow.
This is the desk.
Hello. Get me Spring 73100.
Spring 73100.
Right.
Who are you kidding? That's police headquarters. Say, have you got any complaints to make? Hold on there. Hey, wait a minute. What goes on here? It's one of your keys.
Oh, hello, Sparrow. I can't say much for your phone service.
No? What's the matter with it?
They wouldn't get a number for me.
I see. Who you calling is so important.
The police. I guess I can wait.
Yeah. Say, I'm glad you came in here, Breton. I wanted to have a little talk with you. Alone.
You wouldn't use that revolver right here in this room, would you?
Wouldn't I? You know, I can do pretty much as I want to in this hotel. You know that, don't you?
Yeah. But if you killed me now, wouldn't you have to tell Joe why you did it?
Well, what do you mean?
I mean, wouldn't you have to tell him that you were tired of being partners with him and Henderson? That you wanted the whole racket for yourself? So that you killed Henderson, trying to make it look as though Joe did it so he could take the rap?
If you're trying to talk loud so Joe will hear you, I might as well tell you he just left.
Well, at least I found out it was you who slugged the night watchman in my building tonight.
So what?
Just that you killed him, that's all.
He shouldn't have gotten away.
Then you're admitting that you killed Henderson and the watchman.
Only to you, Breton. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to make sure that you'll never be able to tell it to the cops. See?
I don't have to tell them, Sparrow. They know about it already.
Oh, sure. You gave them all this information before you came up here.
No, I didn't tell them. You did.
You know something, Breton? I'm beginning to think you're a little bit nuts.
I suppose you wouldn't believe me if I told you the police are listening to you right now? They heard you admit all this to me?
Oh, now, wait a minute. Don't tell me you hid him in my closet.
No. But they're right outside in that room where we were just playing cards.
You're crazy.
Why don't you take a look?
Because I ain't dumb enough to turn my back on you.
Then that makes it easy for them to come in.
Drop the gun, Sparrow. Give it here.
What? It is the cops. But
We heard the whole thing outside, Breton. Pretty smart.
how did you get the cops up here?
I didn't get them, Sparrow. You did.
Cut it out, Breton.
It's true. You know the best way to bring the police is to leave a hotel key next to a dead man, and that's what you did.
Yeah, but you picked it up.
Not me. I just made a mental note of it, that's all.
What puzzles me, Earl, is how you know the police were out here when you made Sparrow talk.
That was easy. When I tried to put through a call before, I heard a voice at the switchboard asking about a key. And I just played a hunch.
Now, I'm glad we got here in time. Come along, Sparrow.
Well, Professor, let's go home.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and look, if our phone rings again tonight, don't answer it.
From shadows and stillness, mystery weaves a spell of strangest fascination, charging the mind with doubts and fears. For mystery is a strange companion, a living memory in the haunting hour.
I'll tell you, man, the haunting hour, sometimes misleading. They make it sound spooky. The name of the show, The Haunting Hour, is very spooky. But then you get an episode like that where it's just about a murder and stuff, and there's nothing really too spooky about it. But I still do like it. I like the shows. They just, don't hold up to, not all of them, to being spooky. Good to have 26 people in here. Thank you guys and gals and everybody. But who else jumped in here? The base plate's going on good. Yeah, I think something's amiss right here. Something's amiss. No, I think it's all right. I'll catch up there. Yeah, the mayor looks pretty darn cool. The bathtub also. It's amazing what they can do with these little pieces to make things look realistic. Stephanie, hey. Frankly, Dino, I don't give a hoot. Frankly, Steph, I don't give a hoot. I'll see. We'll see if the next one's any scarier. That's for sure. Ahaba, what's going on? I just got here. Let's see. Raj says, Dino, if you were heading off to the deserted island and you could only one set of tapes, either Bob Bailey's Johnny Dollar or Dick Powell's Richard Diamond, which would you choose? If all the episodes of Johnny Dollar would probably prevail over Richard Diamond, because there's not as many episodes, but I do like Richard Diamond better than Johnny Dollar. But anyways, that's just me. Stay tuned over on the Late Late Horror Show for a good mixed bag tonight. So something a little bit different than every single night of detective shows, even though there's some of those there. Let's see. Let's do Uptown Express, The Haunting Hour. Let's see how spooky this might be. Uptown Express. I love these shows, but whether they're really spooky or not, we shall see. Uptown Express. And thank you all. Hit that thumbs up button, please. Thank you. He does, Sally. It's a very, very cool figure.
No, stay where you are. Do not break the stillness of this moment. For this is a time of mystery. A time when imagination is free and moves forward swiftly, silently. This is The Haunting Hour. The Uptown Express.
I would love to be a producer back in the day, like, in charge of the production of these shows, and you cue music, cue organ, commercial time. Oh, I would just love it. Oh my gosh.
That night didn't begin any differently from any other night. At least it doesn't seem to me that it did. I left work the same as usual, and I hurried because I was late and we were having supper early again so my brother Sid could get to law school on time. I walked down to Broadway and 42nd Street and into the Uptown subway, just the way I always did. I got on, pushed my way in with the crowd. There was an empty seat, and I took it. A girl in front of me was hanging onto the strap. In the other hand, she held the evening paper. I remember looking at it and reading the weather forecast. Fair and somewhat milder, it said. And I thought, tomorrow I can wear my light coat. I was tired. I was awfully tired. I leaned my head back for a minute and closed my eyes. And then...
Tired, baby?
I sat bolt upright.
I'll make you some coffee when we get home. That'll fix you up.
What was he talking about? When we get home. I looked at him. There was something I was trying desperately to remember. But I couldn't. He was in his early 30s, dark and very good looking. But his eyes were hard and his lips were drawn back into a tight little smile. The hand clinging to my arm was large and powerful. The girl in front of me was still holding onto the strap with that paper clutched tightly in one hand. He leaned forward a little so he could see it better.
Cloudy with probable thunder showers. Now, wouldn't you think we've had enough rain for 1 week?
Rain? But the paper had said fair. Fair and somewhat milder. I looked at it again myself. And he was right. Then I knew I was really frightened. The date on that paper was February 21st, 1950. Everything seemed to blur before my eyes for a minute, and I felt a little sick. I looked down and saw a wedding band on my left hand. A simple gold wedding band that hadn't been there 5 minutes before. It was almost as if I half expected to see it there. If the date on that paper was right, if this really were 1950, then something told me that this man, this stranger sitting beside me, was my husband. And somewhere, somehow, on that Uptown Express, I'd lost 5 years of my life.
Now, this is better. But that lady's hysterical.
Get off here.
We walked up the stairs and out into the street. It was raining. It hadn't been raining before.
We'll have to make a run for it. It's raining pretty hard.
We started to run down a long, dark street I'd never seen before. Then we turned into a narrow entrance into a dingy apartment building. We shut the rain outside, and we were alone.
Never mind your key. I have mine right here. Oh, wait a minute. I think there's some mail.
I looked at the name on the box. Vincent. Mr. and Mrs. John Vincent. Johnny and Linda Vincent. That was us.
Oh, this is rich. Look what it is. A political circular. Sidney Damon for district attorney. Fearless, courageous. That's a laugh, sending it to us.
Sid? For district attorney? My brother, Sidney?
Yes, and it don't sound much better than it smells. Not for my money.
But...
Come on. It's cold down here. Let's get upstairs.
We climbed the stairs to the second floor to a small apartment way in the back. I kept thinking of Sid. Less than an hour ago, he was going to City College nights to study law. And now in my hand was a circular that said he was running for district attorney. But it wasn't an hour ago. That was in 1945, 5 years ago. This was 1950.
There. Turn on the light. It's near you.
I felt along the wall and found the switch.
That's better. It's cold in this dump. Never any heat when we need it. Did you speak to that lousy janitor yet? You said you were going to.
I will, Johnny.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to snap at you. It's just that business of your smart aleck brother running for DA. I don't like it.
Why, Johnny? Why don't you like it?
Oh, cut it. Don't ask silly questions. Come here and kiss me instead.
Johnny, I...
What's the matter?
Nothing.
Well, come here, then. You know what? Your hair's all wet and your mascara's run a little around the edges. You look awful, honey. But to me, you're still beautiful.
Please, Johnny, don't kiss me anymore.
What's the idea?
I'm cold. I'm wet. I'll be all right.
Sure. I understand. Go in and change and I'll fix you something hot.
I went into the bedroom. On the bureau was a picture of the two of us. Me, Linda Damon, and this man I'd never seen before. I picked it up. Across the front of it was written, Atlantic City, September 1946. I looked at it for a few minutes. Then I put it back on the bureau and walked over to the closet. On one side were his clothes, and on the other, what I supposed were my things. I found a light blue house dress and changed into it quickly. It fit perfectly.
Ready, Lindy? Come and get it.
In a minute.
Here.
Oh, thanks. Aren't you going to put on some dry clothes?
No, I'm okay. I'll hold out your cup. And one for me. Well, what do we drink to? Even if it's only coffee, we have to drink to something.
Well, what we always drink to, Johnny.
All right, darling. You want to make the toast, or shall I?
You make it.
Here goes, then. To our house. The one with the front porch, the backyard, and the attic. Okay?
Okay.
Do you think we'll ever have it?
Have what, Johnny?
That house. All my life, I remember living in little box flats with walls so paper thin you could hear the guy next door yelling at his old lady, or her nagging at him. Just as if there weren't enough of that stuff in your own place. And the hallways always full with dirty little kids with their faces needing washing and their eyes too old for the rest of them. And the garbage in big, ugly cans in front of the buildings when it was so hot you could hardly breathe.
Johnny.
I guess maybe you don't understand.
Is that why you want the house, Johnny?
Sure. Imagine, Lindy, a house, not a flat, not a couple of caged-in little rooms, but a big house with a front porch and a backyard and an attic. All mine. All ours, Lindy. Oh, Lindy, do you love me?
Oh, yes, Johnny. I do love you very much.
Hey, what got me started?
I did. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be. Don't ever be sorry for anything. Oh, it couldn't be bad if it comes from you because you're good, Lindy. I'm not, and I know it. Oh, look what I'm doing to you, making you live in a hole like this, not a decent dress to your name.
I don't care, Johnny.
Oh, but you'll see. It's going to be different. Maybe sooner than you expect. How would you like to move? Out into the country, to our house. Well, I wasn't going to tell you until everything was set, but here, start on this. Go out tomorrow and buy yourself some clothes. You know, real high-class stuff.
Johnny, all that money.
And plenty more where that came from.
But I don't...
I'll get it. Stay where you are. Yeah? What is it, Charlie? Who? Oh, he was. Well, what did he want? Yeah? Well, just lay low until I get in touch with you. I'll think of something. So long.
Who was that?
Just a friend of mine, business acquaintance. You wouldn't know him.
Oh.
I'm telling you, it was nothing important.
I didn't say anything.
Well, don't, and stop looking as though I just finished beating you.
Don't shout, Johnny.
Well, I didn't mean it, baby. My nerves are on edge, that's all. I wonder if it stopped raining.
Did it?
It let up a little, maybe. Not much.
Why are you standing at the window? Are you expecting someone?
What do you mean by that? Who should I be expecting? You've been talking to your
The
brother,
figures
haven't you?
are
You've been
just
seeing
like
him again.
Johnny, you're hurting
very
me.
I
realistic.
told you to keep away from that family of yours, didn't I? If I'm not good enough for him, that's just too bad.
Johnny, my arm.
Tell me the truth. Have you seen Sid? What's he been telling you? It's a lie, but you believe me, don't you?
I don't know what you're talking about. Please, Johnny, you're hurting me.
Darling, forgive me. Oh, Lindy, you've got to promise me you'll stay with me, no matter what.
What is it, Johnny? What have you done?
Oh, I'm in an awful mess. I'm in deeper than I've ever been in my life. This time, I'm afraid.
Will you tell me? Maybe I can help you. I'm your wife.
Oh, I don't deserve you. I don't deserve ever to have met you.
Johnny,
What?
tell me. Tell me again how we met. I like to hear it.
You're just like a little kid, aren't you? Just a funny little kid.
Tell me.
Okay. It was February 21st, 1945. 5 years ago.
Yes?
And there you were. And I saw you.
Where, Johnny?
On the subway. On the Uptown Express. What's the matter?
Nothing. I have a little headache, that's all. Go on.
You're sure you're all right?
Yes, I'm all right. Go ahead.
And I saw you and I said to myself, that brother is for me. Mm-hmm. And then I made up my mind I was going to meet you.
And then what did you do?
I said, pardon me, miss, am I on the right train for 86th Street?
And what did I say?
And you said, no, you'll have to change it to the local at 72nd. And then we started to talk.
Just as easy as that?
Just as easy as that. I think you wanted to meet me, too. Who's that?
Oh, I don't know. I'll open it.
Linda.
What?
Stay where you are. Don't answer that. Who is it?
Johnny, what are you doing with that gun?
Who is it?
Me, Sidney.
Wait a minute. Your big shot brother.
Sid?
Yeah. I guess I won't need this gun. Here, put it on the table.
Sid.
Listen, Lindy, carefully. I was with you last Monday night. That's all you know. That's your story, and you'd better stick to it. Remember.
Life is filled with mystery, and it was a strange afternoon when Linda Damon boarded the Uptown Express. For without warning, time jumped ahead, and the newspaper datelines read February 21st, 1950. Then she heard the man sitting next to her say,
Come on, Lindy, we get off here.
He was her husband, and his name was Johnny. Mystified, afraid to question, Linda followed him home. Johnny spoke of how they had met 5 years before on the Uptown Express, and Linda listened. Then came a knock on the door. Johnny reached for his gun. The newcomer was Sid, Linda's brother, a candidate for the office of district attorney. Johnny turned to Linda and said,
Listen, Linda, carefully. I was with you last Monday night, and that's all you know. That's your story, and you'd better stick to it. Remember. Yeah, just a minute.
Hello, Linda.
Sid.
What do you want, Damon?
It's so good to see you, Sid. How's Mom?
You've got kind of a nerve asking that, haven't you?
Oh, please, Sid, I don't understand.
Forget it, baby. Let him speak his piece and get out. What's on your mind, Mr. District Attorney?
You're a little premature. But thanks anyway.
Come on into the living room, Sid. Here, let me take your coat. It's wet.
Linda, he'll go into that living room over my dead body.
Which is just the way I'd like it, Vincent.
Why, you were...
Johnny! Sid! What's the matter? What is it?
Linda, haven't you had enough yet? Why don't you come home where you belong? Mom's worse. Every day since you left, she gets worse. Doesn't it mean anything to you that you're killing her?
Mom?
What are you trying to do? Wring blood out of her? Leave her alone.
Don't you care, Linda? What's he done to you?
Leave her alone. If that's what you came here to say, you said it. Now get out.
That's not quite all, Vincent.
No? Well, spill it then.
Last Monday night, a man by the name of Bucky Stevens was murdered.
So what?
Johnny! Johnny, what's he trying to say?
Be quiet, Lindy. Go on, big shot. What's it to me?
That's just what I wondered, Vincent. Bucky'd been gambling, but I suppose you know the story.
Sorry, I don't know nothing.
No? Too bad you missed it. It's been on all the front pages, too. Maybe you just forgot, Vincent. I'll refresh your memory. Bucky'd been gambling heavily, and he won. He was pretty tight and made a lot of noise about it. Things like that get around fast.
I don't like your story. Maybe it's just the way you tell it.
Oh? I'm sorry. But don't worry, it gets better as it goes along. When Bucky left the club alone with that nice fat wallet, 3 men got into another car and followed him.
Yeah?
See, I told you it got better. Gets better still. They forced his car off the road, took his money, murdered him, and then threw his body in the river.
Johnny!
Then what?
Then nothing. That's all there was to it. The 3 men escaped in their car, and the next morning, Earl Marino and his 2 henchmen were picked up and booked for the murder. The police thought they had a case. As a matter of fact, they still do.
Thanks for the bedtime story. Are you through?
In a minute. You see, Vincent, the police, the DA, everyone was convinced it was Marino and his gang. Everyone except me, that is.
So?
So I said to myself, I wonder where Johnny Vincent was Monday night. Johnny and those 2 playmates of his, Charlie Rossi and Joe Kagan. Just idle curiosity, you understand.
Get to the point. You take too much time.
Okay, I will. I did a little private investigating. And I've got proof that it was you and your pals. I've got enough proof to send the 3 of you to the electric chair.
Dad, don't say that.
How'd you
Why,
guys
he
get into
couldn't have.
talking about
Johnny couldn't
spiders?
have.
Why won't you believe me, Linda? I tell you I can prove it. And I intend to. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to the DA with my evidence. And I'm giving you fair warning, it's packed solid. They'll spring Marino and pick you up, Vincent. And the charge will be murder.
You think you're pretty smart, don't you?
No. Just smarter than you, that's all.
Well, don't think you can get away with this.
I know I can.
And if you do, it won't hurt the election any, will it, Damon? Brilliant young prosecuting attorney solves case single-handed. That'll look cute on campaign buttons.
Not bad. But to tell you the truth, I wasn't thinking of that so much. I've been out to get you for a long time for what you've done to Lindy. And this is once you're not going to be able to talk your way out of it.
And just what do you think you've gained by coming here?
I want Linda to be home where she belongs tomorrow, when the police come to get you.
Thanks for the warning.
Oh, you can skip if you're dumb enough. See how far you'll get. By tomorrow night, every paper in the country will have your picture plastered all over the front page.
Johnny's not going anywhere, Sid, and neither am I. He'll stay here and stand trial if he has to, and I'll stand by him. Johnny was with me last Monday night.
Linda, you don't know what you're saying.
Don't I? Well, I'm sorry, but I don't believe you, Sid. Johnny couldn't have murdered anybody.
Nothing I can say will make you change your mind.
No, nothing. Please go, will you?
Sure. Sorry I bothered you. When you need us, we'll still be waiting for you to come home. So long, Vincent. See you in court.
Oh, Johnny, my own brother. How could he?
Thanks for trying anyway, baby. But this time he means business.
You don't have to be afraid, Johnny, if you're innocent.
What do you mean, if...
Oh, I didn't mean it that way, Johnny. Believe me.
Oh, you're trying to kid. He's got the goods on me, and I know it.
Johnny, you mean he was right? He was telling the truth? Johnny, did you...
Don't be a little fool. Of course I killed him.
No. Oh, no.
Oh, cut out the dramatics. I've got to think. There must be something.
You murdered him and threw his body in the river?
And where do you think that money came from? Use your head.
But murder? Johnny...
I couldn't help it. He put up a fight, and we had to let him have it. I didn't want to kill him. There was nothing else I could do. You know I wouldn't have killed him if I didn't have to. Don't you, Lindy?
I don't know anything anymore.
Don't you believe me?
What are you going to do now?
Do? What can I do? He made this investigation on his own. That's what he said, didn't he?
Well, yes, but I...
Then he probably hasn't told anyone yet. No one knows but him. At last, or at least that's the chance I've got to take. I can't be any worse off than I am now.
What are you talking about?
He'll never live to turn in that evidence. I'll see to that.
Johnny!
I'll get Charlie and Joe, and we'll make sure he doesn't...
No! No, you can't do that to Sid. I won't let you.
Me or him, Lindy. I don't have to think twice to decide which one I'd rather have it be.
No. Put down that phone. Please, Johnny.
Hello. Mike? Let me speak to Charlie, will you? Is he there? Good.
I said to hang up, Johnny, and I meant it.
Lindy, put that gun back on the table.
I said to hang up.
You won't shoot. Put it down like a good girl. Hello. That you, Charlie? Something's come up. I want you to get Joe and help me on the job. Yeah, right away.
I'm warning you, Johnny.
Meet me as soon as you can, over. Meet me at... Oh.
Johnny! Oh, Johnny!
I really didn't think you'd shoot me, Lindy.
I had to. I couldn't help it.
You know,
Speaking of spiders.
You've got a lot of spunk for a little thing.
Oh, Johnny, I'm sorry.
I thought I told you not to be sorry for anything.
Looks like a wolf
There,
spider.
I told you anything you did would be all right, and I meant it.
No.
It wouldn't have ended good, no matter what. I'd just as soon have it this way. Honest, baby. But it wasn't all bad, was it? Some of it was fun. Tell me it was.
Yes, Johnny. Some of it was wonderful.
You know what?
What?
I guess maybe I never was meant to have a house with a front porch, a backyard, and
Johnny! I don't know how long I sat there on the floor beside him, holding him in my arms and rocking back and forth as if he were a child. There was blood trickling out of the corners of his mouth, and I wiped it off with my handkerchief. I knew he was dead, but I wiped it off just the same. And I sat there, holding him. Maybe part of those years had been wonderful. Now I'd never know. After a while, I got up, took my purse, and left the apartment. The rain had stopped. I started to walk, found myself running instead, running down that narrow little street. I didn't know where I was going. I just ran. The subway station was at the corner, and I went into that. I thought maybe I'd try and find my way home again, back to Mom and Sid. Then I'd be all right. I tried not to think of Johnny. Johnny lying dead where I'd left him in a little pool of blood. I dropped a nickel in a slot, and a minute later the train came roaring out of the tunnel. I'm sure I didn't know what I was doing. I just got on and sat down. The car was almost empty. I was tired. Tired all over. I leaned back and closed my eyes. When I opened them again, the train was crowded with people, and I hadn't remembered stopping to let them on. Suddenly, I wasn't quite so tired anymore. I sat up straight and looked around. A girl in front of me was hanging onto the strap, and in the other hand, she held the evening paper. I remember looking at it and reading the weather forecast. Fair and somewhat milder. I held my breath. Was it possible? It took every bit of courage I had to force myself to look at the date. And the date was February 21st, 1945. I can't explain how I felt then. I wanted to laugh, but to cry. I wanted to turn to the stranger sitting beside me and say, "Listen, mister, it was a dream. I just imagined it. I didn't kill anybody.
Everybody welcome
It was still
Morrow.
1945, and I'm going home for supper."
It's a me,
I just
Model.
turned and then I froze. I froze with such terror as I've never known before and will never know again. For the man sitting next to me was...
Pardon me, miss. Am I on the right train for 86th Street?
Well, no, you'll have to, that is... I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm afraid you'll have to ask someone else. You see, this is my stop, and I'm getting off.
Hey there, Kim.
From shadows and stillness, mystery weaves a spell of strangest fascination, charging the mind with doubts and fears. For mystery is a strange companion, a living memory in the haunting hour.
Uptown Express. That wasn't a bad one. Welcome, it's me, Amato. I like the name, how you kind of worked it in there. Kim, good to see you over here, Kim. Yeah, good to see you over here. Hopefully you guys have subscribed if you haven't yet. And yeah, give that thumbs up and all that good stuff. Be sure to comment afterwards on what you think. These streams are long streams. That's why I play some of these spooky stories, old-time radio shows, and make it kind of fun. Top 2 favorite channels. Well, thank you, Kim. I really appreciate that. Again, I've got Lock, Shock, and Barrel built. I've got the Mayor built. I'm working on the first building. This shouldn't take real long. There's 3 separate builds, and they kind of fit together. This is going to be the first one, and this is the underground here with a skeleton and a big spider and steps leading up to what's going to be the main building there. So yeah, and I'm going to hide some Christmas stuff too. There's going to be a big wreath in here for Christmas. But anyways, okay, so that was good. Let's check out. See, I like to go over these again and just like dissect them and what do we think. Uptown Express was pretty good. The guy was a little bit annoying. Didn't fit the part really well. She was a little... it was a good story. Hello there. Vincent Price did a lot of westerns and dramas, but really remembered for his horror. Vincent Price did a lot of everything. Comedy, too. He did quite a few comedies. AK, what is going on, AK? Never too old for Lego. Dino the man, what is up? Never too old for Lego. Good to see you here, bud. Just working on the first, almost finished bag 2. Just started on this. Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry I got sneezed fits. I'm all over. Wait, what? I'm sorry I got sneeze fits. Okay, well, I'll keep an eye on you. Hopefully you're all good. Yeah. I'm not sure what that means, but I get the sneezed fits part of that, but I don't get the other. Lock, shock, and barrel. Yeah, the figures look tremendous. The face coloring on these minifigures are really, really good. Bro, I was on the CBC News today sorting bricks, LOL. Nice. Never too old for Lego. Very cool. Okay, so next one I think I'm going to play here is, I don't remember this episode, but I'm going to play it. The Haunting Hour. It's called The Thought. You know, I did just build the Harry Potter building too. I could pull that over here real quick to show you guys. I did just build the Harry Potter burrow. It was a very fun build. You can kind of see it there in the top. It opens up. I got the second one. I never did get the first one from, when is it, 2010 maybe? It was a very tiny one, and then we got a mid-sized one, and now this is the big one. But it's Weasley's house, if you're into Harry Potter. And there's all kinds of very cool features in here. I'll have to do an in-depth. I didn't do a live stream on this because I've kind of felt run down this week with a cold and all that, and I didn't want to just be on stream, you know. So what I did was just continue to build sets. So yeah, the burrow is pretty cool, Stephanie. It really is. So yeah, here, let's do the thought. It's the thought that counts. That was, you get dumb jokes from me. So here we go. I don't remember this. So let's see how this episode holds up. The thought. And here we go.
No, stay where you are. Do not break the stillness of this moment, for this is a time of mystery, a time when imagination is free and moves forward swiftly, silently. This is the Haunting Hour.
This one's got a lot of static in it too. Didn't clean this one up.
The thought.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your pleasure and amazement, the 78 Club presents the great Marlowe, the mental marvel. Gifted with a seventh sense, the great Marlowe reads your mind, tells your every thought. Now, let me warn you, if you have a secret you don't want him to know, just don't think about it. Presenting the great Marlowe.
Thank you. Frankly, I can't explain the performance you're about to witness. Science, without explaining it, calls it telepathy, thought transfer.
I call it hokum.
The gentleman says it's hokum. Maybe. We'll see. Now, everybody in this room, concentrate. Think of a thing or a person. Concentrate. Think hard. I have a thought. Someone is thinking of the initials SG. Will the person thinking of SG please rise?
I've been thinking of SG.
Oh, thank you. Young lady, you are concentrating on the name of Stanley Green. Is that right?
Well, yes.
Stanley is in the Army, I believe. Correct.
Yes, he's a sergeant.
And you want me to tell you Stanley's serial number? It's 34000767. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's
I have
America.
another thought. Someone is thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with me a moment. I'll have to stop this performance. Believe me, it's important. I'll be back very shortly.
I told you it was hokum. What happened, Professor? Forget your code?
Hey, what's the idea of stopping the act that way? Where's your telephone directory, Moreno? What are you trying to do, ruin my club's reputation? Shut up, Moreno. Where's your... Oh, here.
Now, listen, Marlowe. I'm paying you $2,000 a week.
Glenwood.
I expect to get my money's worth.
Listen, will you please leave? Just as soon as I'm through with this call, I'll finish the act.
All right, but make it snappy.
And close the door.
Hello?
I should like to speak to Helen Thornton.
Well, this is Mrs. Thornton.
Helen Thornton?
Yes. Who's this?
My name is Marlowe. I'm a telepathist performing at the 78 Club. A few moments ago, during my act, I received a thought that is vital to you. Are you alone?
Yes.
Do as I say, please. Lock all your windows and doors. Allow no one in under any circumstances
This is someone's idea of a practical joke.
No, Mrs. Thornton. This is no joke. Someone here in this nightclub is planning to kill you.
I like this so far.
Hello?
This is Mildred, Helen. I just got in.
Oh, I've been trying to get you for hours. I know it's very late, but could you come over?
Helen, what's the matter?
Oh, Mildred, I'm so frightened. I'm alone here.
Where's Jack?
Well, he's out of town, and it's Marie's night off. Mildred, I don't know what to do.
What's wrong? You sound
Mildred, will you come over right away, please? You can spend the night. Oh.
Helen, what happened? What's wrong with you?
Oh, Jack.
Helen, are you all right? Look, I'll be right over.
No, Mildred, it's all right now. Jack's come home.
What was the matter?
Well, I'll speak to you tomorrow.
All right. Good night.
Oh, Jack.
Helen, what's the matter?
Oh.
What happened, darling? Helen. Helen, for pity's sake, what is it? Pull yourself together, darling. Here, come on over here and sit down.
Oh.
There, that's better. Now, what is it,
Oh,
darling?
Jack, I'm so glad you're home. It's been awful. I didn't expect you, and when I heard the door...
Well, I finished my business in New York sooner than I'd planned. I would have wired, but I thought I'd surprise you. I met Fred Hamilton on the train coming home. Remember the buyer from St. Louis? He stopped off for a drink downtown.
Oh, Jack, you should have called me.
As a matter of fact, I did try to phone you around 11. I tried to get you just as we were leaving the 78 Club.
The 78 Club? You were there? You...
Well, what is it, darling?
Well, nothing. I'm all right now.
Well, something is wrong, Helen. What is it?
I guess I was just frightened being alone.
Well, you've been alone before many times.
Yes, but that call...
What call?
Well, the police. They called.
Oh?
There was a robbery in the neighborhood.
Oh, so that's it. That's why the door was double locked. Well, darling, there's nothing to worry about now. I'm here, right?
Yes, Jack. You're here.
There, that's better. Good night's sleep, and you'll be as good as new.
Yes, Jack.
Now, you lie there and relax, darling. I'll go to the kitchen and make you a cup of warm milk.
Thanks, Jack.
All these years ago, and 2024, warm milk don't help.
Hello?
Paul, it's Helen. Didn't you get my message? I called twice.
Yes, but I just got in. I thought you'd be asleep
by now.
Paul, you must help me. Please, Paul, there isn't much time.
Helen, what's the trouble?
He's going to kill me.
What are you...
Jack's going to kill me, Paul. He came tonight.
Helen, what are you talking about?
Paul, you must believe me.
Now listen, Helen. You've probably had a bad dream. Is Jack there?
Yes, please. You must believe me. I
More
know
milk,
what he's
it's
going to do.
probably a bad dream.
No, you mustn't. Please listen to me. He's coming now. You'll never see me again, alive. Goodbye, Paul. Don't bother folding up the dresses, Marie. Just throw them in.
Mrs. Thornton, isn't this kind of sudden you're going away?
Don't ask questions, Marie. Hurry, please. Here, now help me close this suitcase. You finish packing the other suitcase. I'm going down to get the car out of the garage.
Morning, Helen.
Jack.
You look so surprised to see me.
Well, Marie said you'd gone. I didn't expect...
Well, I decided to come back. See, I caught you in time.
I was just going over to Mildred's.
So early in the morning?
We have an appointment for golf.
Darling, in those clothes?
Well...
All right, darling, all right. Helen, I'll tell you why I came back this morning. Frankly, I'm worried about you. Something's on your mind. I know it. Won't you tell me what it is?
I'm all right.
Okay, Helen. Now listen to me. I had some very important business to settle
Yes,
in the office
indeed.
with Paul this
Oh,
morning, but you come first.
You saw Paul this morning?
No, I changed my mind on the way down and came back. Helen, you need a rest. You and I are going away.
No, Jack,
Yes?
no.
Now, there's no use arguing. I've already made a reservation for the weekend.
Where are you taking me, Jack?
Remember that cabin we stayed at 3 years ago?
Oh.
It'll be wonderful. Just the two of us, all alone. We'll drive out there tomorrow. Now, there's no need to fuss either. Just a few old duds and my rifle.
Your rifle?
Yes, darling, my gun. The hunting season is on. The shooting at Lone Acres should be very good this year.
It's rabbit season. What's up, Doc?
Now, Helen, what's this all about?
Paul, I had to see you.
Yeah, but why here at Luigi's all the way across town?
It's safer here.
What's gotten into you?
Jack's going to kill me.
Helen.
He is, Paul.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Helen. Why, that's what you told me over the phone last night.
He's changed his plan.
Oh, I see. And why, Mrs. Thornton, is your husband going to kill you?
Okay, if an ordinarily sane woman, woman you know as a friend, and all these people seem to be, and she's saying, my husband's going to kill, they're all just laughing at her and going, you're crazy. What are you talking about? It's a bad dream. You're thinking things you shouldn't be. I mean, come on, question her, ask her. Oh my God! Listen, I know it's a show. I'm just saying. It's crazy. What the?
Because he's jealous of you.
Jealous?
Hey, John Victor.
Jack jealous of me?
He knows what we once meant to each other before I married him.
Well, of course he does. So what? Why, his winning you is a standard joke between Jack and me. Rivals in love, partners in business, and all that stuff. Come on, snap out of it. I think I'd better talk to Jack about you.
No, Paul, you mustn't. Promise me you won't.
Oh, all right, Helen, if you say so.
Jack's taking me to Lone Acres tomorrow for a rest, he said.
Good. It's just what you need, Helen.
I'll never come back alive.
Now, Helen, get hold of yourself. Everything's all right. Your imagination's overworked, that's all. You should go to Lone Acres for a rest. It'll do you a world of good.
All right, Paul, I'll go. But I'm so frightened. So frightened. Paul will be alone, and he'll have his gun.
You know, Helen, sometimes I think I love this gun more than I do you.
That's rude.
There, it's okay now. Clean as a whistle and fit for the work at hand. Say, look, the fog's lifting. You can see clear across the valley. No, we'll get in some hunting today after all. Helen, what's the matter? You haven't said a word since breakfast.
I'm all right. I've been wanting to finish this story.
The Golden Goblet Murders. You know, detective stories hand me a laugh. Now, if I were planning a murder, I'd use a gun, like this Springfield. Just say, for instance, I wanted to kill... Well, say I wanted to kill...
Me?
All right. Say I wanted to kill you. Now, let's see. We have to have a motive, don't we? I have it.
That's
motive?
just
Jealousy.
plain.
Jealousy?
Yes, I'm jealous of Paul Allen. That's it. I'm jealous of Paul.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, come on, darling. Be a sport. Our murder plot is just beginning to get interesting. Now, let's see. We need a locale. Well, Lone Acres, right here. What a perfect setting for a perfect murder. And now for the time.
Yes, Jack. When are you going to kill me?
Well, I shouldn't really tell you when I plan to kill you, but I'll give you a break. This afternoon. How's that? We'll be out in the woods hunting. No one will be too near. No one to see what happens. The hunting season, a gunshot, you're dead. A regrettable accident. And there's our perfect murder.
I love that Lego gives you so many extra pieces. I got an extra spoon.
Helen Thornton has discovered that someone wishes to murder her. A mental telepathist performing at a nightclub read the thought from among the guests. Later, Helen was shocked to learn that one of the guests present in the nightclub was her husband, Jack. She fears that he might want to kill her because of his jealousy of Paul, a former suitor. Her anxiety is heightened when her husband suggests that they go away for a weekend to Lone Acres, an isolated hunting lodge. Once there, Jack tells her it's a perfect setting for a possible perfect crime. Her murder. A hunting accident in the woods.
Helen. Here, up this way. Follow this path around the bend here.
Jack?
Yeah?
Would you mind if I went back to the cabin?
Well, there's a clearing up here, darling. We'll stop for a rest. Helen?
Yes?
Didn't he say he was going to kill her during the hunting
Jack,
trip?
Jack, please don't leave me here alone.
A regrettable accident, Mr. Thornton.
But, Doctor, I don't understand how it happened.
No, Mr. Thornton, it's really nothing serious. Just a shoulder flesh wound. Your wife's perfectly all right.
Well, when may I see her?
Right now. We'll go in right now.
Thank you. She's asleep.
Go ahead, wake her up. She'll feel better knowing you're here.
Helen. Helen, darling.
Huh?
It's me, Helen. Jack.
Mrs. Thornton, it's your husband.
Doctor, get him out of here. He's going to kill me. Please, Doctor, you must save me.
Mr. Thornton, perhaps you'd better leave the room for a while.
All right, Doctor. I'll wait outside.
Doctor, please don't let him in here again. You must believe me. He's planning to kill me.
Mrs. Thornton, what happened was an accident.
Well, that's what he wants you to think. He planned it that way, but it wasn't an accident.
Now, Mrs. Thornton, it's perfectly natural in a case like this that you should imagine strange things.
Doctor, you think I'm crazy, don't you? I'm not. I know what I'm saying. You yourself took the bullet out of my shoulder. Doesn't that prove to you that my husband shot me?
On the contrary, Mrs. Thornton. At the scene of the accident, they found your husband with a .32 caliber rifle in his hands. The bullet I removed from your shoulder was a .45 caliber pistol cartridge.
Marie? Marie?
Yes, Mrs. Thornton, I'll be right up. I was just cleaning up the cellar, ma'am.
Oh, Mrs. Thornton, you have the sling off. Yes, Marie. The doctor says the shoulder's okay now. Pretty soon I'll be playing golf again.
Oh, that's fine, ma'am. I'm so glad.
Thanks, Marie. Were there any calls for me while I was out?
Oh, Mr. Thornton called to tell you not to wait up for him. He'll be home very late. And, Mr. Allen called too, Mrs. Thornton.
Did he say what he wanted?
No, ma'am. Said he'd try to get you later on. Oh, and Mrs. Thornton, I was thinking, do you suppose Mr. Thornton wants to keep this box of bullets downstairs on the open shelf? I was thinking it might be dangerous, ma'am.
Bullets?
Yes, ma'am. This box here.
Let me see that box, Marie. 45 caliber cartridges. 45 caliber cartridges.
At the scene of the accident, they found your husband with a 32 caliber rifle in his hands. The bullet I removed from your shoulder was a 45 caliber pistol cartridge.
Good evening. Have you a reservation, madame?
No, I've come to see the great Marlowe.
Yes, madame. Then perhaps a table on the side. This way, please.
No, I mean I've come to see him on a personal matter. He's expecting me.
Oh, I see, madame. Albert, show this lady to the great Marlowe's dressing room.
And when the doctor told me about the bullet he removed from my shoulder, I thought it was all a terrible mistake. I was even too ashamed to explain to Jack why I'd acted the way I did. But now, Mr. Marlowe, I'm sure that what you told me over the phone that night is true. Someone is really planning to kill me.
Are you
my
sure?
husband.
Husband. Are you sure the doctor said it was a 45 caliber cartridge?
Yes, a 45 caliber cartridge. Just like these that Marie found in the basement.
Does your husband have a pistol?
Well, I think so. He keeps his guns locked in a case. He has the only key. Mr. Marlowe, he tried once and failed. He'll try again. You must help me.
All right, Mrs. Thornton, I'll do all I can. Where is your husband now?
Oh, he's out on business. He'll be home late.
Then we'll have to work fast. Now, let me see.
Needed a break.
I go on again at 9 o'clock. I want you to go home immediately and find some way of opening the case in which your husband keeps his guns. I'll call you just as soon as my act is over. Mrs. Thornton, if you can find a 45 caliber pistol in that case, I think we can put an end to this affair.
Hello?
This is Marlowe.
I opened the case. There was no pistol.
Mrs. Thornton.
I searched all through the house, and I can't find it anywhere. He must have it with him.
Mrs. Thornton.
What shall I do? I can't stay here tonight. He'll kill me.
Mrs. Thornton, listen to me, please. You must come down here immediately. A few minutes ago, during my act, I received the murder thought again. Mr. Thornton is in this nightclub.
My husband is there now?
Yes, meet me in my dressing room. Be sure to come in through the back entrance, and hurry.
All right, Mr. Marlowe.
And where am I supposed to be right now?
Jack. Oh, but, Jack, he said you were standing there all the time. You heard everything.
Enough.
Well, it's not you. Well, then who is it at the 78 Club?
Me? 78 Club? Helena, are you going to tell me what this is all about?
Not you. Oh, yes, darling. I'm going to tell you everything, everything. I should have told you before I wanted to, only... Oh, Jack, I need you so much.
Now, look here, Marlowe. I want to get to the bottom of this.
But Mrs. Thornton and I have told you everything.
Yes, well, then explain to me why at the very moment I was standing in my own home listening to my wife talk to you on the phone, you were telling Mrs. Thornton that I was sitting in this nightclub planning to kill her. Oh, don't you see, Helen, this man's a cheap trickster. Why, he's never even seen me before. Why didn't you come to me when this all started, darling?
Jack, I was afraid.
Because she thought you were the one, and so did I. That's why I assumed it was you sitting out there. Of course, I never saw you before you entered my dressing room a few minutes ago. You see, Mr. Thornton, I have a telepathic mind, not a magic eye. I know what your wife and I have told you is hard to believe.
I don't know what your game is, Marlowe. But I'll find out soon enough. Come on, Helen. We're going to police headquarters.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Thornton. The police
Like a
know
little
about
kid,
it.
I'm going
I
under the
told them.
table again. I can't find
What?
it.
The police are here now in this nightclub. Mr. Thornton, whether you believe it or not, your wife's life is in jeopardy.
Hopefully I got an extra
Someone in
one
this club
here.
now is planning to kill her. Perhaps this will convince you. You own a .45 caliber pistol with a serial number 75682.
What? Yes, that's right. That's the pistol I reported as missing.
Yes, I know. The police told me tonight.
Jack, why didn't you tell me?
Well, darling, you've been so upset lately, I didn't want to cause you any more anxiety.
That pistol is, in all likelihood, the same weapon that was used up at Lone Acres in an attempt on your wife's life. Mr. Thornton, that pistol was brought to this club tonight by the person who is planning to kill your wife. The police found it concealed in an overcoat in the hat check room. Whoever claims that coat is Mrs. Thornton's intended murderer.
Well, why should anyone want to kill her?
Who can it be?
We'll soon find out. Mr. Thornton, do you recall the night you were in this club? The night I first received the murder thought?
Yes.
That night, did you see anybody here, or were you with anyone who knows both you and Mrs. Thornton very well?
Well, let me see. Well, yes. No, it couldn't be.
Pardon me, please.
There we got him, Mr. Marlowe. Here he is.
Will you bring him in, Inspector?
All right, you this way. Come on.
Mrs. Thornton, your intended murderer.
Paul.
That's right. He was with me here the night you received the murder thought.
It was Paul all the time.
Yeah. And it almost worked, yes. And all the clues pointed to you, Mr. Thornton.
But why? We
What's
were
up,
so
Dave?
friendly, the three of us.
Friendly. More than that, Mrs. Thornton. Paul Allen was hopelessly in love with you.
Mr. Marlowe, you're on.
All right.
John
I'm coming.
Travolta
Let's
was
go,
hopelessly
Alan.
devoted.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the 78 Club presents the great Marlowe, the mental marvel. He'll read your mind and tell your every thought. But let me warn you, if you have a secret you don't want him to know, just don't think about it.
From shadows and stillness, mystery weaves a spell of strangest fascination, charging the mind with doubts and fears. For mystery is a strange companion, a living memory. In the haunting hour.
Yeah, they gave me an extra piece. I don't have to go under the table and look for it. Well, that was abrupt. Yeah, I dropped a little piece, and it flew under there, and I went under the table. I couldn't find it, so yeah. Luckily, they gave me three. This is what is this going to be? This is going to be the pillars in the front, right here. Yeah. Say, hey, it's Dave Plouffe. What's going on? Can't wait for Sunday. Sunday. Fun day. Yeah, no, let's see. That was, yeah, I don't know. Oh, what's with the haunting hour? Yeah. Maybe that's why people aren't so, like, jumping up and down when I play them. Death by request. How about that? Death by request. It is 9 o'clock, but I'm going to go... I might go till 9:30. I want to try to get this bag done, so I want to get through 3 bags, at least. But Rocco Brickhaven. Rocco? What the... Yeah, I don't know about that. Would you and Dino have a follow-up discussion on extraterrestrials this weekend, please? Oh, Raj, we have every Sunday planned throughout the rest of the year. We've talked about alien stuff before. So again, check out our playlist on the channel. Check out Paranormal Into the Night on the channel. But anyways, we've already got our show for this all the way up to the next year. So anyways, let's see. Let's do... Oh, here's a skyscraper. This might not be too spooky, but skyscraper mystery. Let's see how good it sounds. And then maybe I'll play this. Skyscraper mystery. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, yeah, we'll play this one.
No, stay where you are. Do not break the stillness of this moment, for this is a time of mystery, a time when imagination is free and moves forward swiftly, silently. This is the haunting hour.
The Skyscraper Mystery.
Hey, Jay. Hopefully...
It is lunch hour on a crowded downtown street of a great American city.
Come on, Sadie. Let's go into this store. I've simply got to get a dress today.
Oh, gee, Hazel, I'd love to. Honest, I'd love to. But I've been out of the office an hour now. My boss will be awful mad if I don't get back.
Ah, come on, Sadie. It'll only take me a minute. I hear they got some wonderful pies. Maybe you can pick up something yourself?
Well, I do need another dress. I simply haven't a thing to wear. I went... Hazel! Oh, what is it? There's a man falling from that building.
What's there? Read all about it. Third window cleaner plunges to death in 2 weeks. Mysterious accidents continue. What's there? Read all about it.
Regional Insurance Company Executive Office. One moment, please. I'll connect you.
Good point, Kim.
Regional Insurance Company Executive Office. I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Sanford is making no appointments today. Yes, sir. I'll be glad to see
I wonder why B.S. himself wants to talk to us, Maggie.
I haven't the faintest idea, Steve, but it must be important. Otherwise, we wouldn't be called up to the front office like this.
Mr. Daly?
Oh, yes.
Miss West?
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Sanford will see you now.
Come on, Maggie. And keep your fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanford.
I've been informed that you two are the best special investigators on the company staff.
Oh, well,
I've got a special assignment I want you two to work on right away.
Yes, Mr. Sanford?
I want you to look into these window cleaner accidents. They've cost our company a lot of money in claims already, and we may have to pay much more.
Then you think they may not be accidental?
I don't know, Miss West. That's what I want you and Mr. Daly here to find out.
Steve, I just got the report. No window cleaner has died by accidental fall in over 10 years.
Thank you, Maggie. Yeah. And yet 3 of the poor devils hit the pavement in the last 2 weeks.
It could be coincidence.
It could. Could be something else. Look, Maggie, add this up now. There are only 2...
Lots of films back in the 30s and mostly the 30s, early 40s. A lot of movies and stuff that dealt with, I mean, not just movies, but like Three Stooges and other. A lot of people jumped off buildings back in the day. I guess that was a thing. It's still a thing, ain't it? Listen, I don't know. Strange.
2 big contract window cleaning companies in town, Intercity and Superba. They're bitter competitors. Between them, they handle all the skyscraper business in town, and the business runs into millions of dollars.
Well?
Well, doesn't it strike you as peculiar that all the accidents have happened to the Intercity Company, the firm we insure, and none to Superba?
Oh, I don't know. That could be coincidence, too.
Yeah, that's just it.
case is full of coincidences, too full.
What are we going to do about it?
I think we ought to drop down to the Intercity Company and have a little talk with the man in charge.
You understand, Mr. Daly, Miss West. I'm just the superintendent of Intercity Company. The firm is actually owned by hundreds of stockholders
dinner,
and operated
Dave.
by a board of directors.
I see. Do you mind if we ask you a few questions, Mr. Cooper?
Not at all. I'll do anything, if it'll help stop these terrible accidents.
Then you think they were accidents?
I'm afraid they were, Miss West. I don't understand why they happened, but they couldn't have been anything else.
Why do you say that, Mr. Cooper?
Well, when the men fell from the windows, they were wearing their safety belts. And they were in perfect condition.
Yes, that's right. That's what the police report said.
Oh, what about the bolts on the sides of the windows where the cleaners hook in their belts?
They hadn't been tampered with. They were in perfect shape.
Then you think your men plunged to their death just through carelessness?
I don't like to admit it, Mr. Daly, but I can't see what else it could have been.
But aren't your men trained to be careful?
Yes, they're trained to be very careful. They have to be. That's what I don't understand. These three men were old-timers with the Intercity Company. I knew them all well. Knew their wives and their families, too. Well, it's hit me pretty hard personally, Mr. Daly. They were friends of mine.
Oh, of course, I can understand that.
Well, how have these accidents affected the company's business, Mr. Cooper?
We're taking a beating, Miss West. We've lost 2 big contracts to Superba already, and we may lose a third. If that one goes over to our competitor, well, I don't see how we can stay in business. You see, the skyscraper people in town don't like all that unfavorable publicity.
Yes, I read that the Exchange Building and Midtown Towers went over to Superba.
That's only one of our troubles, Mr. Daly. We're losing men to Superba, too. We can't hire any more.
What do you mean?
The window cleaners think our company is jinxed. They're very superstitious. We're having all kinds of trouble hanging on to them. Of course, you insurance people are in on the picture now, too. Not that I blame you, of
We're
course.
just trying to get to the bottom of these tragedies.
Of course. All of us would like to. I've been in this business 20 years, and I've never seen a mess like this. If this keeps up, well, we'll have to sell out to Superba for a song. They've got our backs to the wall now. Excuse me, please. Hello? Oh, yes, Mr. Bates. Yes. Yes, I'll be right down. More bad news.
What is it?
The board of directors is holding a special meeting, and they want me to appear. It looks as though they're going to put me on the carpet. I'll be lucky if I have a job when I come out.
Good luck, Mr. Cooper.
Thanks, Miss West. Oh, if there was only something I could tell them. There was only something I could do to straighten out this mess.
Taxi! Hey, taxi!
Where are we going now, Steve? Back to the office?
No, Maggie. Taxi!
Where to, mister?
The corner of 4th and River Street, driver.
Okay.
Corner of 4th and River? What's there, Steve?
The Superba Company, Maggie.
Mr. Carney will see you now.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You asked for a minute of my time. That's all I can spare. What is it?
Mr. Carney, my name is Daly, and this is Miss West.
If you're a salesman, you're supposed to see our purchasing agent.
We're not salesmen, Mr. Carney.
Well, what is it? Speak up. I'm a busy man.
We represent the Regional Insurance Company.
Insurance, so you're agents. When will you fellas learn to stop pestering me? I'm not in the market for any more insurance. That's final. Now get out.
Just a minute, Mr. Carney. You may own the Superba Company, but you can't talk to me like
Just
that.
a minute, Steve. Just a minute. Mr. Carney, we're not insurance agents. We're investigators.
Well, what do you want of me?
Johnny Dollar.
It concerns the little matter of those Intercity Company window cleaners suddenly dropping from skyscrapers.
I see. Well, why come here to Superba? Our window cleaners aren't suffering any accidents. Why don't you go to see the Intercity people?
We've already been there.
That still doesn't explain why you came to see me.
We don't quite understand, Mr. Carney, why their men are having all the accidents and not yours.
Look here, Daly, what are you implying?
Why, nothing, Mr.
We
Carney.
just thought that you might have an idea.
I haven't any idea. I run my own business, a Superba company. What's going on at Intercity doesn't concern me, and I'm not interested. Is that clear?
It's clear enough, but we've heard that you may be interested in the Intercity Company very shortly.
What do you mean?
Well, it's common knowledge that the Intercity people have lost several contracts to you. If they lose a few more, they may be forced to sell out to you.
I'm not in the habit of discussing my business with anybody. I haven't any information to give you, and I wouldn't if I could. Now get out. I'm a busy man.
Phew, just a nice, sweet, lovable man, this Mr. Carney.
Yes, isn't he? We certainly didn't get very far with him, Maggie.
In fact, we haven't gotten very far anywhere. Steve, what are we going to say to the boss?
I don't know. Looks like we're licked. We just haven't got a lead to go on.
But we just can't go into the boss, to Mr. Stanford, and tell him the only reason we found for the accidents was carelessness. Why, he'd fire us.
Yes, I guess he would. But, Maggie, what other reason could there be? The men slip and fall, their equipment checks okay, the police put every one of them down as accidental death. Who are we to say no? Still,
Still what?
well, I just can't get over those statistics. No window cleaner falls in 10 years. Then in 2 weeks, 3 of them drop. And all with the intercity company, too.
Oh, it must be coincidence.
Yes, maybe. Well, maybe you're right.
Here's the original insurance bill, mister.
Huh? Oh, okay, driver. Here you are. Keep the change.
Thanks.
Well, Steve, I suppose we might as well report to the front office.
Yes.
Steve!
What is it?
Up there, that window in our own building. On that.
Hey, look out!
Oh, he smashed right through the awning and onto the sidewalk.
Oh, horrible.
Hey, it's another window cleaner. Hey.
All right, Maggie, it's all right. Pull yourself together, Maggie. We've got work to do.
Steve,
Come on. We're going up into our building and find the office that poor devil dropped from. So you know the office this window cleaner dropped from, Harrison?
Yes, Mr. Daly. I passed by it not 5 minutes ago and saw him doing the window.
this is the 32nd story. Oh, the poor fellow never had a chance.
I'll say you didn't. Oh, did you find out anything by talking to the elevator boys, Maggie?
No, none of them delivered anybody on this floor or picked anybody up in the last 5 minutes.
You see, Mr. Daly, there hasn't been any business done on this floor in the past month. The whole bookkeeping department used to be here, but they moved it down 2 floors. Oh, here's the office.
Hey. Maggie,
Yes?
notice a faint odor in here? The odor of some chemical?
Oh, yes. That's funny. It's kind of a hospital smell.
I'd say it was some kind of cleaning antiseptic, Miss West. You see, the scrub women were in here a half hour ago.
I...
Scrub women.
Well, then it must have been the soap or cleaning solution they use. Anyway, it's not familiar to me. Oh, Steve, look. Why, there's the window washer's pail and sponge on the windowsill just as he left it.
Yes. Hey, wait a minute. That's funny.
What's funny?
The pail's on the outside sill of the window.
What of it?
Well, look at the window, Maggie. It's already been washed on the outside. The man was working on the inside when he was interrupted. He must have been.
Good heavens, Mr. Daly. Then how could he fall out?
It's just what I'd like to know. The fact that it took place in an empty office is interesting, too. Just the place for a nice, quiet... Maggie.
Yes, Steve?
I want you to do a little research for me in a hurry.
What?
Check back on every accident of this kind that's happened. Find out which offices these poor devils fell from. Then call me the moment you're through.
But, Steve, why
It's just a hunch I've got, Maggie. But if it's true...
Okay, Steve, I'm on my way.
Hello?
Steve, this is Maggie. I think I've got something.
Yes?
Every one of those accidents took place from the window of an empty office.
Just what I thought.
What, Steve?
Murder, Maggie. Murder.
It's moida, I say. It's moida.
Steve Daly and Maggie West, special investigators for the Regional Insurance Company, have been sent out to determine the cause of a series of mysterious accidents which have taken place among the skyscrapers of the city. In the short space of 2 weeks, 4 window cleaners have plunged to their deaths. Now, the 2 investigators have discovered that the men did not plunge far down into the street by accident, but were murdered. From that point on, they hit a blind wall.
Well,
here we are again, Maggie. Look, we know these men were murdered. The window in our building and the fact that all the offices from which these window washers fell were empty proves that.
Yes. Naturally, the killer would pick a time when the cleaners were working in empty offices, where he knew he wouldn't be disturbed. Oh, gee, I wonder who he is, Steve.
Well, if we knew that, we'd know everything. At least the motive seems to be a simple one, to ruin our client, the Intercity Company.
And incidentally, to ruin us. We're paying out claims in 4 of these accidents now. The boss is raving.
Yes, I know. He wants results.
And quick. But good heavens, Steve, we can't watch every skyscraper in the city.
Of course we can't, Maggie. Be like looking for a needle in a haystack. Oh, as I see it, we've got only one chance.
What's that?
Did you ever hear the old saying, if the mountain doesn't come to Muhammad, then Muhammad must go to the mountain?
Mm-hmm. But I don't see where it applies here. What do you mean, Steve?
I mean that I'm going to ask Cooper at the Intercity Company for a job, washing windows.
What?
Yes, if I can't find this skyscraper killer, maybe he'll look me up.
Oh, now, Steve, for heaven's sake, you must be out of your mind.
Maybe. But it might work.
But you don't know the first thing about window cleaning.
Well, I could learn. It doesn't look very complicated.
Oh, now, listen, Steve, I won't let you do it. Sticking your neck out like that, why, it's perfectly ridiculous. What isn't only the chance you'll be taking running into the murderer, it's the idea of working 30 and 40 stories above the street.
Don't worry, Maggie. High places don't bother me. Why, I used to be a champion high diver when I was a kid.
Daly, I can't give you a job with my outfit. This idea of yours, well, it's fantastic.
Perhaps, Cooper, but it might work. And it's our only chance.
But you've never had any experience.
Oh, now, how long does it take a green man to break into this business?
Well, a couple of weeks. But it isn't the work itself. It's the idea of being careful.
Now, don't you worry about that, Cooper. I'll be careful, believe me. Taking a nosedive from a skyscraper into a hard street isn't exactly my idea of a nice way to leave this mortal coil.
You'd be running a dangerous risk. Not just from the work alone, but if, as you say, there's a killer running around loose.
Well, your own men are running the same risk every day.
Yes, I know.
All right, then. How about that job?
Okay, Daly, I'll give you the job. But it's against my better judgment. I just want to say that you've got plenty of courage to stick your neck out like this. I admire you for it.
Thanks. Oh, who's the man I report to, Cooper?
Oh, Joe Lane, our crew boss. I was phoning to put you on. Report to him here at 8 tomorrow.
Fine. And, I wouldn't tell him who I am. As far as Lane is concerned, I'm just an unemployed looking for a job as a window cleaner.
All right. There's only one thing I'm asking you to do, Daly.
Yes? What's that?
Be careful. Be very careful.
Morning. Are you Joe Lane?
Yep.
Oh, my name's Daly, Steve Daly.
Oh, yeah, the boss told me about you. So you want to be a window cleaner, huh?
Well, yes, I could use the job.
Well, you don't look like a man that can do hard work. And window washing's hard work, Daly.
Oh, I'm not afraid of it.
You know, I hear they're hiring laborers to work on that new subway. Maybe you'd like that kind of work better, huh?
No, I like it out in the open air.
Look, Bud, I'm just trying to tip you off to something.
Tip me off? To what?
It ain't healthy to work for this outfit. We're in a city right now. We've had quite a few accidents.
Well, I suppose accidents will happen.
Okay, suit yourself. You want to work for us, we can use you. I'll break you in on the ground floor windows first, and then you work upward. You're as green as they come, but I haven't any choice. I'm just telling you one thing.
Yes? What's that?
Be careful.
Yes, Maggie?
You hardly touched your food.
Oh, I know. I'm too tired, I guess. Now, I've been using a lot of muscles that never belonged to me. By the way, young lady, you've hardly touched your foot either.
I'm too scared.
Scared? About what?
About you?
I haven't had a good night's sleep in the 3 weeks you've been working for Intercity.
Now, wait a minute,
And
Maggie.
last night I had a terrible dream. I dreamed that you were a human fly.
A what?
A human fly. You were climbing up the wall of a new skyscraper, 100 stories high, and there was one little window at the top you had to clean before you quit. Well, it looked like a little evil eye shining down at you, mocking you. Well, there you were, climbing up the side of that blank wall, and you'd almost reached the little window when you started to slide back down. You slid further and further, and then suddenly you couldn't hang on anymore and fell into thin air.
Oh, that's a great place to stop. What happened then?
I don't know. I woke up while you were still falling down. Oh, Steve, why don't you quit? Nothing's happened to you. Let's keep it that way.
No, nothing's happened to me, but we've got one result anyway.
What's that?
There hasn't been an accident in 3 weeks.
Oh, then you think the killer's lying low?
Yes, but only for the time being. I'm quite sure he'll strike again.
Mm-hmm, and you may be just the one he's looking for.
Well, if he's interested, he'll find me on the 40th floor of the Syndicate building tomorrow. Well, that's the outside. Now for the inside of this window.
Don't turn around, Daly. Keep facing that window.
So, you're the man I've been looking for.
Not exactly. You're the man I've been looking for. No, keep your hands up or I'll drill you with this gun.
I see you picked a nice empty office where you wouldn't be interrupted.
Naturally, my friend. Naturally.
What are you going to do now?
Don't you know, Daly? You're going for a ride. A one-way ride.
You'll never get away with this, Cooper.
Oh, so you recognize my voice?
You'll never get away with it. They'll get you sooner or later.
Oh, no, my friend, I disagree. When you have slipped and fallen to the street below, the police will call it an accident. They always do. You see, your body will be so crushed that no one will think otherwise. After all, we're 40 stories up. That's pretty high.
Why are you doing this, Cooper? Why are you undermining and ruining your own company?
I see no harm in telling you, Daly. I'm quite sure it won't get any farther. You see, Intercity will have to sell out the Superba for a song. And then I'll get a dividend from Superba for my work. Yes, sir, quite a dividend.
So Connie of the Superba is paying you for these killings, huh?
Killings? Oh, that's such a crude word, Mr. Daly. You mean, accidents. However, this is no time for talk. Work to be done. I have a new cleaning fluid here in this little bottle. I'm going to demonstrate it to you.
Chloroform, huh?
You're very clever, Daly.
You called your man inside the office on the pretext of demonstrating a new window cleaning fluid.
Yepper.
Then you knocked him out with the chloroform and dumped the poor devils out of the window. And you knew that even if there were a coroner's inquest, nothing would come of it. Because chloroform is almost impossible to detect in an autopsy.
You're too clever, Mr. Daly, much too clever. Naturally, I knew you'd never fall for a pretext like that. That's why I brought this gun, just to be sure. And I wouldn't turn around if I were you. You'll feel no pain. It's just like going to sleep. Oh, my eyes! My eyes! Try to blind me with that sponge, will you?
You missed, Cooper. There goes your gun. Now, it's either you or me.
I can't see you, but I can hear you, Daly. Once I get my hands on you...
Cooper, look out! The window!
I strangle you to death, Daly!
Cooper!
Strangle you to... Oh!
Something I never thought of in Funhole. This is Lego, but Funhole. They give you clippers, and these little clippers, they work perfect for stickers. You get right underneath the sticker, and you put it on. Straighten it up, and it just slide. It works perfectly. It's the best way. If you use your fingers, you're going to get it crooked. Everything else. With these tweezers, it goes on perfect every single time for me. If you ever need to put a sticker on anything, just saying. Almost done.
Well, Steve, they caught Connie at the airport. He booked passage for the West, trying to make a getaway.
Well, that seems to tie it all up, Maggie.
Especially where Cooper was concerned. When a person falls 40 stories to the street, well, there wasn't any doubt. You know, there's one thing I don't understand, though. Cooper was walking up to you with a gun and a cloth soaked in chloroform, isn't that right?
That's right.
Well, then how did you manage to turn around and close with him before he could fire that gun?
Well, you see, Maggie, I was facing the window and I saw his reflection in the glass. My hands were up and the sponge was in my right hand. It was soaked with soapy water and ammonia.
Ammonia?
Yes. Oh, when I saw Cooper coming at me from behind, I had to take a long chance. He was about 3 feet away from me when I flipped the sponge backward. Luckily, it caught him square in the face and blinded him temporarily. And the rest you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Oh. Yes. We'll be right up.
What was that?
The boss, B.S. Sanford, probably wants us to start on another investigation.
Well, if he does, I hope it's in a nice deep subway this time.
From shadows and stillness, mystery weaves a spell of strangest fascination, charging the mind with doubts and fears. For mystery is a strange companion, a living memory in the haunting hour.
That wasn't bad. It reminded me of a lot of the old movies back in the day where somebody, there was a Charlie Chan where hypnotists, oh God, the guy who could hypnotize people would make people jump off of the skyscraper. But there were so many movies like that and so many shows. Like there was one with the Three Stooges. Well, they were always on skyscrapers getting ready to fall off. But anyways, yeah, I'm almost done with bag 3 here. I've gotten pretty far. Lock, Shock, and Barrel, the bathtub, the mayor, most of the first building here. I think I got one more bag and it should complete this first one. We got 3 builds and this is the first build and it looks pretty good. I showed a lot of up close pictures of it and everything. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. To some haunting hour. And please leave a comment afterwards. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you haven't yet. And thank you guys all for hanging out while I do these builds. Always fun, that's for sure. Over at the Late Horror Show tonight, we have a mixed bag compilation. I will tell you that there's a little bit of everything in there. Some mystery, some espionage, some Man Called X is in there, as well as some Johnny Dollar. But I've been playing lately the older Johnny Dollars from like the late 60s, so hopefully you guys enjoy those. But a good mix. There's a Whistler thrown in there. I did pick out some really good episodes, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. Every night, even though it might start off with a Johnny Dollar, which is a different episode, always something different going in there. But anyways, thank you, you guys. Sally Skellington, it's looking good. Yes, Nightmare Before Christmas. And again, if you didn't see the Harry Potter, the Burrows, I built that off screen, not a live stream. That's the Harry Potter. That was a really fun. That's Weasley's house. Yeah, see, it's hard to get it in frame here, but it's pretty tall. If you spin it around, you could see how lopsided it is, like the windows and all that, the shape. There's the good view in the front where it does, well, it opens up this way, and they got the pig farm down in the bottom and everything. So this was really cool. This was a fun build, but I didn't film it, which I should have, but I'll be doing videos where I show collections and stuff like that once I get enough together, because I got a lot of stuff going on. But anyways, take care. See you guys over at the other stream. Much love. And yeah, see you next time.